This biker was riding through the woods when suddenly a Karen appeared
You need to stop.
and tried to stop him and his friend. Even though the biker stopped, they definitely didn't intend to wait for Ken to call the police.
Is this Justin again?
The biker filming just pretended to be deaf.
Kitzer, I asked you not to come back here.
Then she tried to play the innocent card, but he didn't show her how to silently demonstrate her next step. The biker filming signaled to his friend to turn left, only to then do this. Sometimes, when someone tries to act too smart on the road, they end up getting a lesson they'll never forget. This one guy in a car thought he was way too clever. Ignoring all traffic rules, he zipped ahead using the hard shoulder. That made things tough for everyone else. People were just trying not to crash into him. A responsible driver behind him couldn't take it anymore. Frustrated, he honked, maybe hoping the guy would come to his senses. But the opposite happened. The car guy started slamming his brakes just to annoy others even more. Then, like a scene out of a movie, a biker showed up, calm-headed, but not the type to stay quiet. Without saying a word, he gave the car's side mirror a light knock, and it flew off like a kite cut loose. The car guy sped off even faster after that, but the biker had already made his point. The message was loud and clear. The road belongs to everyone. You can't play smart here. This good Samaritan was driving calmly when, out of nowhere, these ass sniffers crossed, smashing his car's side. Then the action starts as a fan of shanking pigeons in public parks leans out, blaming her driver. A squid-brained thing who hasn't had sex since 2002 claimed we wrecked his ride. Plus, a jerk kid, just realizing his parents are conspiracy-spewing lizard worshippers, rolled down his window, while two bleach-drinking wannabe influencers, a panty ironer and Karen, acted like entitled dumpster fires. When the screaming match stopped, our driver, with superhuman calm, hit the gas to leave them behind. But the mouth-breathing morons threw themselves on the car to stop him. Unwilling to tolerate more roadside circus nonsense, he floored it, nearly leaving those puddle suckers sleeping on the asphalt, and escaped the chaos. A truck driver was cruising along peacefully when, out of nowhere, an SUV swerved into his lane. The SUV driver started acting all rude, braking repeatedly, flipping the bird at the truck driver. But little did he know, the truck had a dashcam running, capturing every move he made. The real fun began when the SUV driver got out of his car and started flipping the bird again. That's when karma stepped in and taught him a lesson. Scared out of his wits, he scrambled back into his car and sped off. This woman was driving in the left lane of the highway when, suddenly, a white car overtook her from the right and then recklessly braked, causing an accident. Shocked by what had happened, they continued driving until they found a place to stop. The reckless driver, who caused the accident, immediately got out of his car, only to blame the woman. But when she told him that
on camera, I have a dash cam.
Everything was recorded on the dash cam, his behavior changed very quickly, and he slowly walked back to his car, obviously sad that his insurance fraud had failed. This driver did not want to wait at the construction site because the road was closed for a few minutes. Instead of waiting, the reckless driver ignored the barriers and drove straight through the construction site. However, he got instant karma because a police officer had observed the whole thing and pulled him over because of his reckless behavior. This biker was dodging the traffic when suddenly two pickup trucks come in his lane. Now fate decided to have some fun. A police officer from behind was noticing his antics when the police officer asks him to stop to give him his daily dose. Because of this stop, he will have to face a ticket for sure, maybe even a case. The funny thing is that the biker somehow escapes just in time.
This man was just about to stop at a red light when suddenly a drunk driver slammed into the back of his car. But instead of stopping and taking responsibility, the Volvo driver hit the gas and ran the red light like nothing happened. Bad move. The dashcam driver, completely shocked, went after him, determined to confront the guy. The drunk driver tried everything to escape.
Pull your ass over right now!
And in one reckless move, he spun the car around, but ended up crashing straight into an electrical box. Not only did he wreck his car, he also knocked out power in the area. And just seconds later, the police pulled up and gave him exactly what he deserved.
A man was driving his car when a BMW ahead suddenly slowed down and switched on its hazard lights. It gradually came to a stop in the middle of the road. When the man tried to overtake, the BMW swerved into his path and blocked him. Alarmed, the man got out of his car, but the driver, who had a dashcam, quickly sensed something wasn't right. It might have been an attempted robbery. Without hesitation, he shifted into reverse and sped away. The would-be robber chased after him, but once he had gained enough distance, the driver spun the car around and drove off swiftly, before the other driver could react. This reckless driver cut off the filming biker, but then got the funniest instant karma ever. As he drove past the biker, his wallet slipped off the roof of his car and fell onto the road without him even noticing. But that wasn't karma yet. The biker, trying to stay calm, decided to return the wallet to him. But instead of being grateful, the driver gave him the middle finger and acted like a complete idiot. The biker had had enough. When he stopped next to the guy with his wallet in his hand, the driver suddenly became very nice. The biker gave him back his wallet, but not his cell phone. Everything was going normal for our truck driver until he crossed paths with a reckless driver. But that wasn't enough. The other driver suddenly hit the brakes, clearly trying to provoke. As he continued to slow down for no reason, it eventually caused a slight collision, a minor impact, but the intention was obvious. Now comes the unexpected twist. The man steps out, and it turns out to be Max Turbo, frustrated and visibly agitated, possibly from days of intense training. After a brief exchange, Max takes out his phone, ready to call the police, unaware that his every move, every second of this drama, was recorded on Dashcam. A truck driver was calmly driving ahead when a thug in an SUV decided to merge into his lane without looking. The idiot didn't even check his mirrors to see that a cop was already nearby. But oh no, that wasn't enough for this jerk. The rude bastard opened his door and started yelling at the truck driver, acting as if the poor guy was the one at fault. Good thing our truck driver, Shanti, was recording every move of this thug. When the SUV driver opened his door again, got out, and waved at a car, probably to avoid a ticket, Shanti didn't lose his temper. The truck driver also stepped out and waited for the cops to arrive so this idiot could get what he deserved. But as soon as this fool realized he was trapped, he bolted towards his car and sped away faster than a greasy mongoose. This driver was driving slowly past a traffic jam when suddenly a reckless Kia driver blocked his path because he thought it was illegal to drive through. The Kia driver signaled him to move back to the left, but the driver filming tried to get past anyway. The Kia driver then started playing games. He slowed down and finally stopped. The driver filming had had enough and got out to discuss it with him, but even that wasn't enough to stop the Kia driver. He blocked the way again. This time, another driver even interfered for no reason, even though the road ahead was completely clear. Meanwhile, a long line of cars formed behind them. When they stopped again, the driver filming went back to him and threatened to call the police. This guy was driving peacefully when suddenly a reckless Dodge came speeding past and almost went off the road. Before the dashcam driver could even react, the Dodge suddenly braked dangerously. What followed was pure chaos. Later reports revealed that the driver was under the influence of substances and completely out of control. When the dashcam driver tried to overtake him, the Dodge driver pulled back into his lane, cut him off, and gave him the middle finger like a madman. The dashcam driver repeatedly raised his hand, but the situation escalated further as both vehicles picked up speed. During a second overtaking attempt, the Dodge pulled over again. A lorry driver was calmly driving along a busy highway when suddenly a pickup truck tried to cut into his lane. The lorry driver didn't let him in, which made the pickup driver furious. He rolled down his window and started yelling at the lorry driver, then rudely forced his truck into the lane anyway. The dashcam car moved ahead of the lorry, which seemed to annoy the pickup driver even more. He opened his door in anger and flipped him off. This time, he managed to get ahead of the lorry, but the dashcam was recording everything. The real twist came at the next traffic light. The pickup driver jumped out of his vehicle and approached the lorry, demanding the driver stop. But then he noticed the dashcam capturing the entire incident. Suddenly, he changed his attitude, turned back without saying a word, quietly got in his truck, shut the door, and drove off.